For April, I was thinking a daisy. Daisies are one of my favorite flowers, and April is my birthday month, and so I like daisies. So far, we have a peony, a lavender, a eucalyptus, and now we're going to make a daisy. So I'm going to use mainly my small brush for this one. Daisies are, I'm going to make a white daisy. We get different kinds of daisies. I'm going to use a tiny bit of blue. This is like the paint gray. And I'm going to by just doing a few little lines, basically following my pencil line. I'm going to kind of, oh, that's too much. And I'm going to make them a little wet. So they're a little flowy. I'm going to paint one, skip one, paint one, skip one. I'm going to kind of just give a few, more like an outline. So leave some white. And I know if it dries a bit too much on the gray side, then I can come back with some gouache or some white paint, and I can just kind of make him white again. You definitely want to do on your pencil lines a little bit of a line. So white flowers are always so tricky to paint because they're white. The small brush make it a little bit easier. If you see the bubble on your paper, like, you know, you can kind of see your bubble. Take a clean spot on your towel. So I like to even fold it to a space where I haven't touched it yet today. And you can kind of suck it up. Always turn your towel so there's a new spot. So you just transfer the color. Keep on going with tiny little lines. Outline. On your pencil line and then fill it in. Make sure the ones that's below can be a little darker. And do a few lines that show the texture of the petal. And I know it doesn't look like anything, so I'm going to let that dry and then let's quickly do some of the green. I always like to use the same kind of greens, but you can play around with different greens. Make your stem. Adding purple can help. Adding something to make it a bit darker where it's touching. That's a lot dark, not just a little bit. So I'm going to clean my brush, suck it up, and blend it out. Then adding a little bit of a different green in there to just kind of make it a bit darker, and then when to the top, make it a bit lighter. A little bit darker. And even I switched to my bigger brush for this, but you can definitely stay with your small brush. I'm also going to do the yellow. You want to kind of do your edge a bit uneven. And then add a tiny bit of pink and a small amount of purple. So you can paint the inside a little different. Gonna kind of sort of blend. First layers, right? So we're not done. Clean your brush really well, put it down, switch to your smaller one maybe. Check your daisy. Maybe you just need a couple of lines to help your daisy. The small brush will just make it so easy to make a few really skinny lines. Kind of outline it, give a few lines to show the texture. Sometimes it's just easier to turn it around to you. Also, if it's your brush is really too wet or the space is a little wet, just move on and then come back. And then let's go. I'm going to stick to the small brush, and you basically want to do little tiny dots on top of your first layer that should be dry. And adding a little purple pink to the yellow. Do another round. Maybe a little bit more purple. And just to where the yellow and the purple are touching, or the middle touching, you want to do like a small yellow, like an out, like a smiley face. I'm trying not to say that, but it's so easy. It's just like smile. Check your greens. Sometimes coming back with a small brush, we're just gonna add a few, because the spaces is just small. You can come back and add more detail. And then also here. Remember when I did it and it was so dark and I kind of moved it? I can just come back and add a little bit more. Take your big brush, make sure it's clean, and you can just kind of soften some of those edges a bit by pulling it out. Now you have a little daisy.